Welcome to Narka Tales. Tonight, we delve into 6 stories from the darkest corners of family and relationships, tales of betrayal, heartbreak, and the gravity of choices made when love unravels. A father's desperate longing. He was 36 when he shattered his own world. A moment's weakness became an affair, and within weeks he found himself living hundreds of miles from the home he once shared. Virtual couples therapy couldn't bridge the physical and emotional gap his betrayal had carved. His wife, nursing wounds too fresh to forgive, closed every door between him and their 3-year-old son. She answered his texts with silence. She let the answering machine pick up his calls. When he drove to her house unannounced, the windows remained dark. He wanted only one thing: to right his wrong, to hold his boy again. He texted offers of weekend outings, neutral ground meetups, FaceTime playdates at bedtime. Each olive branch was left to wither in her inbox. The more he begged, the more distant she became. So he wondered, did he deserve any access after his betrayal? Or was this his penance, forever cut off from the laughter and tears of the child he helped bring into the world? But here's the twist: he wasn't just a sorrowful father. He'd exchanged one life for another, moving across state lines to chase the thrill of his affair partner's arms. In desertion of legal and moral duty, he sold his son's smiles for a dalliance that will never fill the emptiness of fatherhood. A mother who never felt the spark. She already had 2 daughters, Lizzie, now 16, and Haley, 14, when she remarried and gave birth to 3 more. The younger 4 filled her life with giggles and tiny footsteps. But with Lizzie, everything felt wrong. No ecstatic rush of love at her birth, no proud spark in her mother's eyes. Just indifference. Her own mother admitted the same thing once, so perhaps it was hereditary, but for Lizzie it became a sentence: love withheld. When baby brothers and sisters needed scraped knees and bedtime stories, Lizzie was left to grow up early. She bristled. She hated the stepfather so fiercely she couldn't even share a room with him unless her real dad was there. And one day, when her little brother got suspended for defending himself, Lizzie dared to stand between them, refusing to watch injustice, even as her mother and new husband told her to shut up. So they called her father and told her to pack. Now Lizzie lives across town, visiting her siblings by court-mandated split custody visits, and that's all her mother permits. A mother's love is supposed to be unconditional, but for Lizzie it's become a reward, doled out only when she's quiet and compliant. This isn't discipline, it's abandonment with a postscript: you're too much. I don't want you here. The grandfather denied. He never asked for much, just a chance to hold his grandson. Years ago, distance drifted him from his only son. Now, his daughter-in-law has barred him from every milestone: first graduation, wedding, birth. He learns of the boy's birth not from pictures but from whispers and half-truths passed through siblings. He reaches out to family court, but there's no mechanism for grandparents in his state unless he proves unfitness. How can I prove them unfit when they won't let me near? He wonders, pages of legal statutes his only companions in a silent home. He scours advice columns. What lawyer handles grandparents' rights? He feels the clock ticking every time his grandson grows another inch he'll never know. All he wanted was a chance at forgiveness, a window into a family he helped build. Instead, he's left drafting motions and drafting dreams of a tomorrow he'll never see. The husband who fled a diagnosis. He returned from a business trip to see her hollowed out by pain. The scans confirmed it: ovarian cancer, a journey of surgeries and chemotherapy ahead, and, worst blow, the loss of fertility she'd long postponed for her career. As she wept, dreaming of a future they'd planned, he felt something shatter inside himself. How could the life he'd begged her so many years to start slip away in a heartbeat? He stood abruptly, voice raw, and told her, "I need air." He fled the hospital to a sterile hotel room, away from the woman he loved, away from the disease he felt powerless to fight. There, he confronted his own grief and anger. Anger at the years she'd said not yet to children, anger at fate's cruel timing. He convinced himself he needed distance to process, only to realize too late that in his flight he abandoned the one person who needed him most. The man who sowed his own ruin. 8 years of marriage, a beloved child, an apartment filled with whispers of forever. But work pressures frayed their closeness, And he let resentment creep in, then temptation. Office chats became secret rendezvous. One stolen weekend led to two, and his professional partner became his secret partner. Guilt pushed him away, then pulled him back in a fatal dance. He hid hotel bookings in drafts, saved passwords in private notes, prided himself on his alibis, until his wife, unknowingly, clicked on his WhatsApp. Proof spilled out, screenshots of lipstick-stained sheets, flight receipts, cryptic messages of desire. He watched as she built her legal fortress, messages subpoenaed, bank records subpoenaed, every hidden corner illuminated in cold courtroom light. His world collapsed in one day, his parents turned away, his child taken by court order, his career derailed by scandal. Now he roams from courthouse to courthouse, the echo of his own lies chasing him like a specter. The woman who walked away. She was 33 when she found herself alone in a sterile hotel room, late at night, no wallet, no partner, no choice. In an instant, she'd heard those two words, "It's cancer." And everything she thought she knew was torn apart. The love of her husband, the plans for a family, the safe embrace of shared dreams. In shock and fear, she fled the hospital corridor, suitcase in hand, driven by a frantic need for space. By morning, she returned. She learned that tears could freeze, that medical staff could be angels and demons, and that sometimes the best way to see yourself clearly is to step away from the person you love most. 6 hearts in shards. 6 families fractured by secrets, resentment, and fear. A father shut out by his own sin. A mother who never felt a spark for her firstborn. A grandfather denied his only grandson. A husband who turned his back on the woman fighting for her life. A man undone by his own betrayals. A wife who walked away from cancer's bedside. In each story, the wounds cut deepest when betrayal comes from those you cherish most. And yet, in the wreckage, there is a flicker of hope, because truth, once spoken, can heal what lies buried in silence. Don't forget to subscribe, because here on Narca Tales, we believe every story deserves to be heard, and every soul deserves compassion, even when they've lost their way.